see a cockroach coming to you like man to man, like no, sorry, animal to man, cockroach to man. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Agoziem. On this channel I share content about moving to Canada, life as an international student, how to settle in smoothly as an international student in Canada, and all those juice here and there, lifestyle vlog, anything that comes to mind I feel you guys may love. I share them on my channel. And if this is the kind of content you're looking for, if this is the kind of vibe you're looking for, please consider subscribing to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my reality versus my expectations of living in Canada. So prior before moving to Canada in 2022, I had a lot of expectations, and when I came here, it was more like vivid imagination. So that was what welcomed me. So I'm going to be listing my expectations, then what my reality is, okay? My first expectation was that house rent would be cheap in a small town. If you guys don't already know, I school at Northwest College, and Northwest has two campuses. One is in Edmonton and the other one is at Wetaskiwin. So I school in the one at Wetaskiwin. Now Wetaskiwin is a very small town. So when I was filling out my application, I chose the one in Wetaskiwin because I was like, oh, house rent will be cheap, living expenses will be cheap. That's a very big lie. When I moved to this town, when it was time for me to look for an apartment, honestly, I was not seeing anything cheap. I have friends in Ontario that pay like $600 like every month, and they live in a shared apartment. Then coming here, I had in mind I was going to get like a shared apartment and share with someone. There is nothing like that here. It's either you are renting a 1-bedroom apartment or you're renting a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, my college is the only college in this town. So it's not like a student hub or a town where there are lots of students. My college is the only college, and here there is just 1 or 2 high schools in this town. So you guys can imagine. So house rent is expensive. Transportation, I'm going to come to that. Let's move to number 2. My second expectation was that transportation would be cheap, that there will be buses everywhere. Another lie. Now, here comes the reality. In this same town where I stay, and this also applies to all the small towns in this country. I'm not even joking. I thought maybe it was like a Wetaskiwin thing, but watching a lot of YouTube videos and hearing from my friends that also got here that live in small towns, like even in Ontario, I'm like, okay, this is not really a Wetaskiwin thing. Here, there are no buses. There are no buses. And here, there are just 2 cab companies. Is that you're using one or you're using the other one? Another thing is, wherever you're going, let's say you're going to work, if you're going to work, you pay $8 per trip, like toll. Then if you're going like toll and fro, you pay $16 toll and fro. Let's say you work every day, you pay $16 every day for your transportation. There are no buses here. So imagine there was a bus, at least it would be cheaper. You just get a bus pass and you're good to go. But here, there is nothing like buses. Unlike big towns where there are like buses and trains, you can use those means of transportation to go wherever you want to go to. But here, you are stuck with just 2 cab companies. Maybe in other small towns, there may be like other cab companies. But here, I feel like the reason is that there are like few streets. They feel like everywhere you can reach, you can easily reach places. But honestly, there are times that you are running late, and there are times you have to take like 45 minutes walk or an hour walk to get to wherever you want to go to if you decide to use your 2 legs. Number 3 expectation is that I thought it was very easy to get a job. Don't get me wrong. You can actually get a job, but you may not land that job the first time you try. You may have to try like 2 or 3 times. Like in terms of submitting application, it's not so easy to get a job. Now, let me tell you guys something. I never knew what Canadian experience was. I never knew that Canadian experience was a thing. Now, let me give you guys an example. You applied for a job. This employer knows that, oh, you just moved to Canada. Can you tell me why this employer is expecting you to have Canadian experience when you just moved to Canada? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? It doesn't make sense, because why would you be expecting someone to have Canadian experience when they just moved here? How are they going to get Canadian experience when they've not even worked in Canada? It doesn't make sense to me. So Canadian experience is a thing here. I never expected that, but it's the reality. Another expectation was that I expected that when I come here, when I walk into the hospital to get care, I would easily get care, especially when I go to the emergency. That's not true. Now, here comes the reality. The first time I ever went to emerge, because my health was off, I went to the emergency unit to get care. I spent nothing less than 8 to 9 hours in the emerge before I was attended to. Now in Canada, they use something called a triage system. Triage system means that when you come into the emergency, for example, they don't do first come first serve. Now they attend to patients based on priority. Let's say I come into the hospital and I'm having maybe headache, and someone else comes into the hospital and the person is having like airway problem, the person cannot breathe, or the person having circulation problem, or the person is in serious pain. They're not going to attend to me first, though I came before that person. They're going to attend to the person that has a more serious problem, if that makes sense. So they use the triage system, so no be first come first serve. Another expectation was that when I start working, I'll be rich. I lied to myself. Let me give you guys this story. So back in Nigeria, I had friends that were already abroad, and when they tell me, oh, I earn $20 an hour, I earn 12 pounds an hour, I'll bring my calculator. Ping, 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 ping. I'll convert from pound to naira. I'll be like, hey, this person is rich, oh. Until I moved here. Now, I'm earning in dollars. I'm not earning in naira. That is different. If I was earning in dollars and spending in naira, who am I? What is Benz I cannot buy? What is Benz I cannot buy? So when you're earning in this currency, you are spending in this currency. So the reality is that, see, you're earning this money is actually not enough for you to be rich. Okay. Another expectation was that if I work more shift, I'll be able to save more money. Like I'll be able to make more money. Okay. Ideally, you work more shift, you should be able to make more money, right? Now, let me now bust your bubbles. The more you make, the more taxes you pay. If you make more money, you pay more taxes. Like where I work, the amount I pay up to 30% tax out of 30 or 35% tax out of what I make, which is a lot. Which is a lot. Sometimes it just feels like, oh, you are just working for the government and all of that. But I know they're using the money for the betterment of the country, of the society. But sometimes I'm like, why am I really making this money to better other people's lives? Why can't they just get a job? But that's not how things work here. So the more you work, the more taxes you pay. I don't know if to call this an expectation, but I expected this. But it's more like I never expected it. Okay? Now, it's not an expectation because it never came to my mind. And that is seeing homeless people. Lord, I did not expect to see the amount of homeless people I've seen in this country since I landed here. I'm like, why are there so much homeless people in this country? Like, I don't understand. In short, if I expected to see homeless people, like, I'm not shit on our people or anything. I was expecting to see maybe foreigners, because of not having a job, or maybe the whole marginalization of maybe being marginalized, not being able to get a job, they don't really know what to fall back on. They don't really have money, no food or anything. If I ever expected to see homeless people in Canada, I think I would have expected to see foreigners, but not indigenous, like not Canadians. Do you understand? The amount of homeless people I've seen in this country, I don't think I've ever seen them ever in my life before. Like, there are lots of them. Though the government provides a shelter for them where they live and all of that, I think they even get paid. I'm not really sure about this, but I think they kind of get like some sort of stipends or some sort of incentive every month. I even had one encounter one time that I was with my friend, we were going to church, and one homeless person was really coming at us. I got really scared because back home I never had like any beggar or any homeless person coming at me like that. I was like, what is going on. We had to like quickly cross the road, and a car was speedily coming. So I never really expected to see homeless people this much in this country. And if you're coming here, please be very, 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 very careful. Don't keep late night. Even if you're keeping late nights, make sure you have like a car, or maybe like you are not going home on foot, so that you will not be attacked or anything. I'm not saying they are harassed, but you never can tell. Another expectation is that I won't have any issue with pests. There won't be any form of pests. Canada is like heaven. Like, you see like butterflies flying, colorful butterflies. Everything is cool. No pests, no flies, nothing. The amount of cockroaches I've seen in this country, the amount of cockroaches I've seen, I don't think I ever saw it back in Nigeria. Like, when you see a cockroach coming to you like man to man, like, animal to man, cockroach to man. I don't know how to put it, but the amount of cockroaches I've seen, I'm like, what is going on? I was not talking about bed bug. Like, I never expected to see the amount of pests I've seen so far. It's alarming. Like, why am I having trenches experience? That was what I asked myself one day. Why am I having trenches experience? I never saw this amount of pests back home. I never did. Another expectation was that, oh, anywhere I'm going to, I'll just use the bus. Now, this brings me back to my second expectation I already mentioned. I never knew I would trek this much. No, they don't call it trekking. They call it taking long walks. They call it taking long walks. I never expected to trek this much, because there are sometimes I'm like, please, how will I be spending this much money on transportation? Let me just use my 2 legs. And before you know it, you are trekking more than the Israelites. You are trekking more than you are supposed to trek as a human being. I never expected to trek this much. Another thing I never expected, well, not like I really expected it, but I saw it and it was a shock to me, is that cannabis, aka Igbo, aka weed, is legal here. People, there are like cannabis stores. There are lots of cannabis stores. Like, there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of cannabis stores. There are lots of stores that sell cannabis. Even here, they grow cannabis. People grow in greenhouse. Even in winter, when it's freezing cold, people are growing their cannabis. Okay, it's a big thing here. So cannabis is legal. So you don't need to hide to smoke your cannabis. It's totally legal. Another thing I never expected was that, when they say abroad, when you come to the abroad, you're your own mama, you're your own papa, you're your own mom, you're your own dad, you're your own person. You don't expect to get help from people. I really expected that independence, like that whole mind your business. Now, here is the reality. Moving to Canada, I got so much love. Like, the love is, I'm still getting the love even up till now. The love is enormous. In my apartment, every single furniture I have, my reading table, my couch, my box spring, my drawer, every single furniture I have, even my plates, I never spent money on those things. I got so much love from my church, and yeah, so I never expected to get this much love moving to this country. I never expected anybody to give me anything. I never expected that I could go grocery shopping with someone and they would offer to pay for all my groceries. Like, I mean, groceries of $70, $80, $90, $100, and they offer to pay it with no strings attached. I never expected that, honestly. Another thing that I heard back home before I moved there, I think you've also heard it, is that Canadians are very, 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 very nice. Now, this is an expectation, right? Now, let me tell you guys the reality. Now, I just want to, help you to reduce the expectations more, so that you not come and be like, oh, why is it that nobody told? Now, I'm telling you, not all of them are nice. Not all of them are nice. Not all of them are nice. Okay? Some of them are not nice. I'm telling you. Some of them are not direct. The thing is, they are not direct. Most of the ones I've seen are not really direct. You know how when someone asks you for something, or when someone wants you to do something for them, and they are direct in asking you. Here, they are not really direct. They won't really come out directly to ask you that thing. Let's say now where I work, maybe someone wants you to, maybe someone is, I work as a healthcare aide. So let's say now someone wants me to like help them and take like a blood pressure of a patient or of a resident, right? And maybe they have that, this is their task, and maybe they are choked and they have a lot of things they are doing. Maybe they have like 4 or 5 people to go give medication, other things. Now they know that maybe you're with your own task, you are freer, right? They can ask you. Now, as if I want to ask someone that question, I'll be like, oh, please, could you help me take A's blood pressure? Please, I'm really swamped with my task. I really appreciate if you could help me do that. Now, see how they will ask you. Now, they'll ask you, assume you're done with your task. Is it possible you can take A's blood pressure? Now, they're not asking you. They are like, I don't know the right English to use. I don't know if people understand what I'm saying. I don't know the right English to just put it so you can suit what I'm trying to say. They are not direct. They are like if you're not direct, you come off as being corny. So yeah, Canadians are not, they are nice. I really met nice people. Like the person I said initially that gets me groceries, got me all my furniture, all those things. Like, she is Canadian and she's extremely nice. But sometimes I've met ones that are not so nice, and some of them are not so direct. Another thing I never expected was to see a lot of elderly people. Now, this is much, I've noticed that this is very, very common in rural areas, like in rural communities. Like where I stay, I live in a small town, aka rural community, okay? And this is very, very common in towns like this, because when people maybe retire, they come back to their hometown, like they do, like we also do in Nigeria. When people want to retire, some people may decide to go back to their village and all that. So if you're coming to a small town, if your school is in a small town, don't really expect to see lots of young population. Expect to see lots of elderly populations. And this is the reason why there are lots of care jobs in small towns, okay? So yeah, I never expected to see this much elderly people. Another expectation was that I expected that it is possible to, school, work, and be able to pay your tuition yourself. I think I should actually make a video concerning this topic, because I think I'm eligible to talk about this. I've been running away from this topic, but I think I'm eligible to talk about it, but I digress. Now, it is not realistically and realistically speaking, I don't know if there's an English word like that. Please, if you're coming to do like a diploma, if you're coming to a college, like you have to go to school like every single day, most likely impossible to be able to work, school, and use the money you make from work to pay your tuition just by yourself. You could, but you may require some sort of assistance. But if you want me to make a video concerning this particular topic, just let me know in the comment section, okay? Another expectation was that, which I think a lot of folks back home sort of have this kind of expectation, is that when you go abroad, you have blown, you have hit the jackpot. Let me tell you something. It's a lie. From me to you, it's a lie. People tell you, oh, you are abroad, you're rich, there is money, you pick money on the road. My brothers and sisters, dears, I've waka. I have trekked. $1 I've not seen. 1 cent I have not seen. So let me tell you people, it is not possible to pick money on the road. Another expectation was that I did not expect to see lots of underaged children, like lots of underaged kids smoking. Like underage, I mean like 16, 15. Here, kids start smoking early. Like, smoking is more like, if you don't smoke, it looks like you're wearing the back of your clothes. Like, lots of underage kids smoke here, okay? I just want to reduce the expectation a little bit so that you will not come and be like, hey, this small girl is smoking. Don't even bother yourself, because they're also going to get used to seeing all those small girls or all those small boys smoking. So, but it is what it is. Lots of 16, 15, 14-year-olds actually smoke. Another expectation, which wasn't really an expectation for me, because you did not keep money for anybody to give you, to hold for you, right? So don't really expect for people to give you money. Like, you know how we are in Nigeria, you can easily say, call your uncle, oh uncle, my phone spoiled, I need to pay my rent. Here, if you're not able to work and make that much money that you need, and maybe if your family maybe doesn't meet up and all that, my dear, you finished. Like, it has finished for you. It is finished. Okay, so make sure whatever you're doing, make sure you don't go in debt. Make sure in debt, I mean by overusing your credit card. Make sure that you don't find yourself in that position whereby you have to beg anybody to give you money. Okay, let this be your reality before you get to this place, so that you'll be very, very prepared. Know that even if you know A to Z in this place, you know Emeka, Chioma, Adana, Obi, Tunde, Shegun, like, make sure that these people are running their own race. You also came to run your own race. Okay, have this at the back of your mind, that you and God, your keeper is God, and you you have to work to keep yourself alive. God is watching over you. So don't expect Adama, Shegu, Tayo to be calling you, oh, do you need 50,000? Oh, nobody's going to do that. So let this be your reality. It wasn't really an expectation for me, because I was not really expecting anybody to do anything for me. But if you have this expectation that XYZ will be helping you to put one or two bills together, please dead that idea. Dead it. Because every single person here is working really hard to make ends meet. Okay, so it's not them being wicked. Everybody is trying to survive, basically. Another expectation was that, oh, I can really wash my clothes, go and use the laundry. If you are using like a public laundry in your unit, oh, I can easily do my laundry and all that. Now, here's the reality. Now, this is not my reality. This is my friend's reality. When my friend leaves, her building, she has to pay like $1 to use the washing machine and the dryer. So let's say you want to wash your clothes 5 times in a week. That's $5. Okay, you have to pay to be able to use the washer. So this is another thing you should look out for when you're looking for a house. If you're the kind of person that to bring out money they had you, or you don't really like to spend money, be like, oh, I've paid my rent, I know my right, why would I be paying to use washing machine? Try and get an apartment in a building whereby you don't have to pay money. Like me, I don't pay money to do my laundry. This was my friend's expectation versus what her reality is right now. So put that into consideration when you're looking for an apartment, so that it will not be like vivid imagination. So I think this should be like my final expectation. So my final expectation is that I expected that food would be cheap. Honestly, now the reality is that food is actually not that cheap, especially if you're the kind of person that loves to eat a lot of organic food, and if you love a lot of fruit and vegetables. Those things are actually not cheap. So if you're the kind of person that you love greens, you love organic food, just make sure that you hold your money down, okay? Because you're going to be spending a lot of money trying to keep drinking your sweet smoothie, all right? So food is not that cheap. All over the world, every country all over the world is experiencing inflation. So expect that things are not going to be all that cheap. But there's always a way. Just live within your means and you are totally fine. So guys, I've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, do give me a thumbs up. If you have any video idea, anything you want me to film, anything you want me to talk about, just feel free to drop it in the comment section and I'm going to get to it. I've been receiving a lot of love in all my videos, especially my documents video. Like, you guys really love that video so much, and I'm so happy I was able to film that video. And the amount of love just on that content alone, and the amount of growth, because honestly, going back to watch that video, I was like, okay, I see why this video is getting me a lot of views and all of that. Thank you guys so much for all the love, for watching my video, for clicking when I post. I really appreciate it. I don't take it for granted at all. So if you guys want a Q&A, I've been itching to film a Q&A. Like, I want to film a question and answer whereby you guys ask me questions, like drop your questions, and I'm going to put up a Q&A tag or tab on my Insta story, so you guys can like drop your questions. I'm also going to put that on my community tab so you guys can drop your questions. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to see you guys in my next video. I enjoyed filming this video and I hope you guys enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed filming it. Take care of yourself. Keep being fabulous. Take care. Bye.